Are you looking to join Cycling Men of Leisure for one of our rides in 2025? We've got a few things on our schedule.
That's right. We'll be attending Big Bragg and also the Bourbon Country Burn.
Big Bragg is in Georgia and Bourbon Country Burns in Kentucky. Both places are going to be absolutely beautiful. We're going to have teams for both of those events. If you're looking to join us on our team, just send us a message. We'll tell you what to do.
So come on out. It's going to be a good time.
Absolutely.
Well, it's time for Road Adventures with Cycling Men of Leisure, the podcast for cyclists who understand that riding is not just about getting to the destination, but the experience along the way. Now, here are the original Cycling Men of Leisure, Adam and Michael.
Welcome to Road Adventures of Cycling Men of Leisure. Once again, as usual, I am Adam, and with me, as usual, lucky for me, virtually in Central Time Zone, Mr. Michael Sharp.
Thank you very much, Adam. Happy to be here. How you doing?
Good. Hey, man, we've got a new president.
We do.
We don't know who it is because we're recording this before, but somebody.
Well, maybe we've got a new president.
I was going to say,
it could still be in the courts or whatever, but
hanging Chad. So
that's right. We have went to the election booth to vote for a new president. How about we just leave it at that?
We'll leave it at that, and we'll see what happens. So
yeah.
So for those of you joining us on YouTube, Michael, what do you think of my new piece of Western wear?
Well, I guess you got to wear something.
Ladies and gentlemen,
go ahead.
It is a DeBrim T-shirt from the DeBrim company, and I'll let Michael get his words in, and I'll tell you all about it. So,
I have tried because friends don't let friends wear DeBrim. But I've done everything I could to try to keep you from doing this. Now you've taken it to the next level, and now you're wearing their gear other than the DeBrim. So I've failed. I apologize, but it's on you now, buddy.
Melanie and Keith, if you are listening to this, stop what you're doing and switch over to YouTube. You'll be so proud. I have a DeBrim T-shirt on that says sun protection. So a little while back, I wrote the DeBrim company and said, hey, we talk about your product on our show many times.
No, Adam, talk about your product.
Shh. I said that I believe in the product and my co-host does not. And I asked if there was sponsorship interest. They very, very nice wrote back and said, listen, we're just a small, company. It's like a side business and we just don't have the funds to be in a sponsorship, but could we please send you some items? And I thought I would do a little show and tell. First of all, I got a nice.
So basically you're now the unpaid spokesman for DeBrim.
That's okay. You know what?
Sometimes I've got to sit through it though.
You do. But sometimes you just have to help out the company.
The small business?
Yeah, because I had a small business for 20 years with my photography, and if someone would have done this, I would have been honored. So,
okay.
So Terry wrote me a little letter there. Get that off of there. Adam, thanks for your support. And I'm sorry we didn't have a large shirt, so I sent the closest we have. Hope it shrinks a little bit in the wash. Cheers and happy pedaling. Terry from DeBrim. Now, let me show you, and I'll explain for those of you who are not willing to go on YouTube. I got a nice, I believe they call this string bag that says DeBrim. Ride cool, stay longer, DeBrim.com, 510.
It's ride cool as in the temperature, not the I look cool.
You can do your own definition there, but it's DeBrim.com, DABRIM.com, 510-240-9065. Okay. Also got this classy T-shirt that says DeBrim, obviously. And obviously, Michael, we know that you do not measure up because I got
DeBrim
myself
measuring.
Yeah. You know what this is I'm not doing a very good job of showing it off. There we go. What this is you measure the size. You put your helmet on, and you need a small to brim if you're 26 to 29 and a half inches, or a large at 29 to 32.
Can't you just go off the size of your helmet?
It fits most for cycling. Yeah, you got to put your helmet on.
But if you know what size your helmet is,
where's that sensor button?
That seems like a unneeded step.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
Also, some officially licensed DeBrim Post-it notes. So now when I write notes for the show,
Fantastic.
I'll be able to show them off. But not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 packs of the DeBrim. And I like to take a lot of notes with our show. Also, a beautiful, this is my next show writing pen right here. DeBrim pen.
Dear.
It's got a stylus on the end, so it's nice.
Because everybody needs stylists nowadays.
And a nice brochure. So for those of you who want, just let me know. I could scan it in and PDF it to you. So, or just go to debrim.com. It's much easier that way. Anyways, so I want to thank Terry and DeBrim, and yeah. And
now let me say something. There is options other than DeBrim. You can simply use sunscreen and a ball cap.
Carcinogen.
Works. You should be wearing sunscreen at any time when you're outside.
Carcinogen.
It's not a.
If anyone's ever been with me, they know I wear arms and sleeves.
Even when you're out mowing the grass?
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The sun's out. You should be doing it. He learned a new word, carcinogen. He doesn't know what it means, but he likes to just throw it out there because it makes him sound scientifically smart. It's carcinogen.
There we go.
Bourbon, carcinogen. No.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Well, listen, I just wanted to get that out there, and I want to thank the Brim Company and Terry and for her hospitality and wonderful gifts that they sent me. So
if we're going to be doing this, we need like that little disclaimer that the stuff said by Adam is not a reflection of co-host Michael's opinions, or he does not support it, that kind of thing. Like you hear on other. And
all truthfulness, what you just said is absolutely true. I know you're joking, but I have to say this because I watch a lot of YouTube, a lot of reviews on electronic products and things. To be fair, DeBrim did deny me a sponsorship. They just sent me some items. My review is only my own review from the product. I enjoy wearing the DeBrim. It's kind of become my image, through our show. And I mean, people always say I was able to find you because of your hat. I'm sure they're probably thinking you're silly hat, but that's okay. I'm man enough to admit that while I almost gave it away once on a ride, I have since had it with me.
It came back.
It came back. Anyways, Melanie and Keith, listen, if you're looking for some Post-it notes or something, I'm just kidding. So, anyways, I digress. We'll move forward. So, yes,
please.
DeBrim did not pay me, did not want a sponsorship, but they did send me this. And I think it's a beautiful product. So, okay.
What have we got substantial on this show?
Oh, my gosh. Substantial. I mean, it's a pretty big hat. It's pretty substantial. So. All right. So I've been doing some thinking. And
the show's going even worse now.
No.
DeBrim, now Adam's thinking. Oh, dear.
I think you're going to like this.
Okay.
I really do. So it's not a secret that I like podcasts, not just making one with you, which I highly enjoy, by the way, but I enjoy podcasts in my normal life. Ever since my health journey and working out, and most, if not all, I usually have some sort of either true crime or technology podcast to how to do some cool stuff on our show. And I listened to our show, and I was listening to the Maria Parker interview again because I found it so inspiring. And I said that phrase that I always say, our listeners, and it got me thinking. We need a name for our people who not only watch us but listen to us, and I think we need something to call them by. On behalf of Adam
and Michael,
we both want to say thank you
for your support.
Are we talking about the DeBrim wearers or the regular people?
No. The DeBrim wearers are like me, Keith, and Melanie. I mean, let's be honest. But I'm talking about people who watch us on YouTube. So if they're watching, they're not listeners. I mean, they're probably listening or reading. Maybe they're at work and they're not supposed to be watching us, so they read the captions. But which good for you.
So what do you want to call them? What's your ideas? Okay, I knew you did.
My idea would be our leisure community.
Our leisure community. Okay.
Even so much so that if you are watching on YouTube right now, I even made a graphic for it. Look at that.
Wow. Okay. I can go with that.
Okay. Look at that.
Because I have busted you more than once on the we have the people other than listeners.
Yes.
But
Guilty.
No, I'm good with that. So,
and you know what? I listen to, not all the time, but I listen to a little bit of the Kelsey podcast, and they call their listeners the 92 percenters. And that's kind of, just to be truthful, where I got the idea. I'm like, we need a name for people who are at home, who enjoy our shenanigans. So
no, I think that's cool. Our leisure community.
All right.
Cool.
Perfect.
That works.
All right.
And you've already made the graphic. So
yeah, well, I mean, listen, hours. No, it didn't take me hours. Hours it took me. Just kidding. Once you know how to do something, it's pretty quick to throw something together. So, well, in that case, we have heard from a lot of our leisure community, and I have some updates.
Let's hear it.
First one, pretty simple, to the point. Our friend Keith, who wears a DeBrim, says, great interview with Maria Parker. And I just wanted to mention that. Our friend Luke said hello. The at Mr. Nash text man says, great show, guys. Really enjoyed the interview with Maria. It was a pleasure meeting you, Adam, at the tour to Livingston. Oh, yeah, that's right. We rode together. When I bought my cruise bike V20 Vendetta, I was also looking at another recumbent brand. Being a lifelong upright rider and being in my 60s, my neck, shoulder, etc., told me it was time for a change. Never been on a recumbent, and not knowing anyone who had, I was flying blind. That was until I watched the Hope documentary with Maria. In this movie, you meet Maria, her husband Jim, her children, her company, the love for her sister, and determination, and you get to see how the Vendetta performs. I was sold, still riding, love the Vendetta. Thanks again, guys. Really great interview. Hope to see you at Ragbri. Our friend Scott Garwick interviewed a friend, and not only a friend, but now a monthly donation supporter, says, hey there, Adam and Michael. Just want to tell you guys what a great interview you had with Maria Parker. One of your best, in my opinion. She was an amazing athlete and a wonderful ambassador for not only cruise bike, but the recumbent cycling in general. I followed her and Jim on YouTube for several years and just loved them both and cruise bike. What a fantastic and fast machine. I would own one in a heartbeat if I didn't already have 4 bands anyway. Maybe that's a brand of recumbent. I apologize. Thanks for having her on your show. I loved it. By the way, my wife Sue listens to your podcast too and really enjoys it.
Now, let me just say.
Yes, sir.
Everybody's like, oh, you guys... They loved that interview with Maria. But I think we're getting too much credit. I mean, when you have somebody who's a good interviewee and has really good stories and that kind of thing, you can be a mediocre interviewer and you still get a good interview as far as I'm concerned. So, I mean, most of the credit I'm going to give to Maria because she had great stories, great presence. So.
I would agree. After 54 episodes, we're getting better and better. But yes, she definitely was the star. So, I just wanted to show the DeBrim here, just real quick. Didn't want to miss out on that. I don't want to jump to listener spotlight yet, but did we get any new countries on the map?
I am happy to say we did indeed get some new countries on the map, and I would like to welcome New Zealand, Poland, and Kenya
Okay, good.
New listeners from those 3 locations.
Well, good, because I kind of walked you into a trap because at Audax_writer says, great podcast. Greetings from Poland, guys. Now that great podcast was listed on the Maria interview. So the question is it our podcast that he likes, or was it just the Maria interview? That's your own.
When there's nobody around to dispute it, we'll go with podcast. How about that?
All right, perfect. Hey, we have what I would love to now consider a friend of the show. You write us this many times, you're a friend.
Okay.
So at Matt Robinson, he says, for Michael, who also referred to as Mark, to return the favor.
Sorry.
My Soda Springs guest a couple of episodes back was a super medium from Soda Springs. You can also see Wyoming and Utah. It was settled way before Idaho, became a state, was a stop on the Oregon Trail, saw growth due to the lumber, especially after the Civil War, but not name for a trader or nothing to do with TV stuff. I ruled out Dubuque because it was mostly a key trading post. Mining came later. Also, Dubuque was big in the manufacturing and meat packing, especially transportation because of the return on investment. Okay, fine. The coax cable thing was the biggest miss for me. Well done. We'll also enjoy your twisted clues. Cue the voice modification. Listener spotlight. Look at that.
What do you mean twisted cues?
He likes clues.
The clues. Excuse me.
He likes the clues that you give. He's saying they're twisted. He also has a guess for when we get to listener spotlight. But I have one more from our leisure community. And that's a little known gentleman who we also consider a major friend of the show, has been awesome to us. Executive Director of brag.org, Franklin Johnson.
Yep.
So we have been in contact, and last year we did a New Year's Day breaking down the route show with him, and I am proud to say, ladies and gentlemen, that is happening again. He has agreed to do that with us.
Awesome.
So we consider him not only a friend, but also enjoy doing the ride. We are going back to Bragg 2025, Big Bragg. Go to brag.org, check it out. When you sign up there, you can actually, on the registration, click Cycling Men and Women of Leisure. And we already know we have 10, so we'll have a jersey. And so we are hoping to have another large team, and so please join us. So, Franklin, I just want to say thank you for agreeing to do that again. So
that'll be good.
So I believe that's all of my, besides the guests for Listener Spotlight, when you're ready, from our leisure community.
All right. The clues that I gave you for the last episode's Listener Spotlight were as follows. In the mid-1850s, white settlers moved into the area due to the mineral springs. It is known for its large amount of recreational opportunities. In the late 50s, if you were seriously into science and or physics, this town's high school would have been the place that you would have wanted to go to school. And if you don't drive carefully in this town, you might end up in the side of the feed store.
Hey, Adam, I need a Coke.
Sounds good. We'll be back after a quick break. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for an official Listener Spotlight guest. Our friend Matt, not Mark, Matt, says, I guess Huntsville, Alabama is all the NASA stuff there, fits the mineral springs thing, specifically big spring feeds. The town has tons of recreational stuff, especially for cyclists. was settled by white settlers earlier than 1850s, but let's not the details get in the way of a good story. So, our friend Matt has guessed Huntsville, Alabama.
Huntsville, Alabama. That is not correct. Sorry, Matt.
Hey, listen, Matt, at least he called you by your name.
I got it right this time.
That's a plus.
All right. It's not St. Louis either, Adam, so just so you know. Do you want to know where it is?
Of course.
We are talking about the town of Pagosa. What?
Wait. Ed already heard it because Ed's listening at 1.6. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Pagosa Springs, Colorado.
Pagosa Springs. I am so intrigued by the feed, the running into the feed. And
let me explain how I got to this. It's known for a large amount of recreational opportunities: fishing, rafting, hiking, hunting. The local ski resort there is Wolf Creek ski area because it sits just below Wolf Creek Pass. In the late 50s, this is a good one. Frank Oppenheimer, you know who he was?
Oh yeah, I just watched the great movie.
Helped develop, the atomic bomb, that kind of thing. Well, during the Red Scare in this country, he was branded a communist and was no longer able to find work. Basically, what he was able to do is he was able to get a job as a high school teacher. Can you believe this? Frank Oppenheimer did all this great stuff, and now he's teaching high school in the 50s, from like 57 to 60 in Pagosa Springs, Colorado. Can you imagine being like one of his science students? It's like, here's Frank Oppenheimer teaching me about science and physics.
Hey, kids, we have a science experiment.
Fortunately, in the 60s and stuff, then he was able to, kind of get back in good with that whole thing. I mean, it's kind of a sad story, but that would have been cool to go to high school and be in his class. Here's the big one. I thought somebody out there would get this. If you don't drive carefully in this town, you might end up in the side of a feed store. This was the one that I thought someone would catch on. There is an artist, big back in 1975, by the name of C.W. McCall. And you're probably not familiar with him, but C.W. McCall did a lot of songs about truckers. In fact, one of his songs, Convoy, ended up as a movie with Chris Christopherson and Ernest Borgnine in it.
Why didn't you tell me? I would have got a sound clip. I know the Convoy song.
Yeah, Convoy.
We're going to have a convoy.
Exactly.
Man.
But that's not the song I'm referencing. He did another song called Wolf Creek Pass. Wolf Creek Pass, up on the Great Divide, trucking on down the other side. The last little bit of the song talks about how they're going on the backside of Wolf Creek Pass. His buddy steps on the brakes. There are no brakes. They come barreling in, and the last two sentences of the song is, they slammed into the side of a feed store in downtown Pagosa Springs.
Well, that's because everybody was watching BJ the Bear.
BJ and the Bear?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot of trucker. Yeah, I can't think of what the other one was, but yeah, BJ and the Bear, and there was another one.
Cannonball Run had semis in it too. It was a whole whole theme there with trucks, and trains, and Mama. Oh wait, sorry.
In the rain.
I got off on a tangent. It was all.
So yeah, I mean, trucking was big in 75 and early 80s and all that. So,
what do you think of my new listener spotlight graphic?
I like it.
See, I'm kind of enjoying the graphics. So
that's right. So
Pagoda Springs, huh?
Pagosa.
Sorry about that.
Pagoda are those buildings in Japan, but Pagosa Springs, yeah.
Oh yeah, when I get my Chinese. I haven't had Chinese in so long.
But what was interesting is also this community has a large amount of its downtown area is actually fed by geothermal energy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I've been there many times. Beautiful little town. Skied at Wolf Creek Pass. So
that's something I've never done. I skied. Well, that's not true. I did cross country skiing, but
it's not the same.
I didn't have insurance for a while because I was afraid to. I was afraid to ski. And,
that was like a long time ago.
Well,
There's been a lot of time between now and then.
I was going to say I've had insurance for the last 15 years, but there was a time before that where I worked at a job where then it was like independent contractor, and I said, I want to risk it. And
yeah, you were young.
Yeah.
Could afford it.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, that has been Listener Spotlight. Thank you to all of our listeners.
In Pagosa Springs, Colorado.
See, I didn't pause like last week when you said Ohio. I although I did watch Colorado football there for a while, so wanted to see how that was going to work out, but I bet they're going to go back to the drawing board. Anyways, perfect. I assume, per usual, you have something for the end of the show?
I do have something for the end of the show.
Perfect. I get to play with my graphic again then.
You do indeed.
In that case, we'll move the graphic, and we have the brim. All right, so let's get rocking and rolling here.
Let's get what do we got going on now?
Something small to me and you, but I wanted to mention it in case those who I mentioned the word RAGBRAI before, but RAGBRAI released their logo, and you know what?
It's the best one.
I love it. I love it. Go ahead.
It is the best one since I believe it was 2018 Screaming Eagle.
I should have had a Screaming Eagle sound. That would have been good, but I would agree. If you look at this logo, first of all, it's RAGBRAI 52. So in the logo, they put like a silhouette image of the B-52. Looks like it's on the side of a riveted plane. And check it out. Go to ragbrai.com. They're showing it, and I know you and I have decided once again, and for 2025, that we are going to look at something else. There's a few rides that are in our planning stages that we're looking at. Some may not be week long, some may. So we'll announce those when we get closer and willing to discuss that. But we are doing the week long Big Brag. But anyways, go to ragbrai.com. We wanted to mention it because we talked about RAGBRAI before, and we might actually. I mean, it's early. We might actually try to do something around their announcement as well. So we'll see. Yeah, for sure. But definitely check. I could see the logo, being on like a jersey and being on like T-shirts and stuff. I really believe
it's a great logo. They've had some weak logos the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, even like the 50th wasn't great, although the GOAT jersey was really good. But you know what? Here's what I want to know.
Okay.
Entertainment one night. Think they'll try to get the B-52s?
I could bust out my Love Shack.
That would fit the theme beautifully.
It would, actually.
Just throwing it out there. We'll see.
Maybe you just stole Matt's thunder.
Sorry, Matt.
Hope he listens. He's got his own podcast, Just Go Bike Podcast. Hope he listens to us still. So,
he's been on a couple times, so you never know.
He's actually, when we were there, he was extremely supportive. So,
yeah, very, very much so.
He wouldn't recognize me now, but
yeah, he would. You're still wearing that to brim.
Oh man! Oh, ouch! Oh, ow! God, let me pull the sword out. I hope you didn't twist it.
It's in the back, not the front. So.
Was it the try one that doesn't heal? So
that's right. Yeah.
There. See, I have some military knowledge. Let's see here. You have been at work being a website designer. You want to talk about that?
I think designer's a bit over the top.
Hey,
but,
hey! You got to sell it, my friend.
You're right. You're exactly right there. I've been doing some website design, and if people are interested, we've added some new content and some new pages to our website. I've updated. There's a page on our website that talks about all sorts of different activities we've done, be it cycling, be it breweries we've been to, distilleries, cultural things like the Ford Museum in Michigan and things like that. And just kind of a big list of things that the Cycling Men of Leisure have in fact done or participated in. I've updated that for this last year. And then I've also added another page.
This one I'm excited about. I love when you have like a few, I mean, you're a family man, and I know that your life is I've seen your calendar on the side of your fridge. And besides someone putting their hand out for money, I'm sure you're usually busier than a one-arm paper hanger. So But this was really cool, and I want to let you talk about it.
What was this one actually?
Oh, come on. Listener spotlight.
I just wanted to hear you do the thing.
All right.
What I've done is I have created a page that pays homage to every town community that has been highlighted on the listener spotlight.
I thought it was really cool myself.
So periodically I'll be updating it, but right now it's updated up to Pagosa Springs. Pagosa Springs isn't on there. So if you ever want to know if your community has been highlighted in that segment, you'll be able to go in there and look.
What line
and it
is
could
St.
help
Louis?
you out if you were wanting to try to guess and go, well, I think it's Pagosa Springs, and you're like, nope, they've already done Pagosa Springs, so it's not that one.
What line is St. Louis on that webpage?
St. Louis is not on that webpage because here's my problem.
Mm-hmm.
I have thought about putting St. Louis out there, and I think, no disrespect to you, have all the respect and love for you in the world, man, but no disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can fool you on St. Louis.
You probably
But
could.
I
You
haven't
could
done St. Louis because it's
because then
you're
it
very
wouldn't
familiar
be fun.
with it, and I didn't want to make you look like,
I think everyone out there needs to know that I lived very close to that for many, many, many years. And so my father was at Scott Air Force Base in Belleville, Illinois. And then when I was in scouting, we would go to St. Louis and do all kinds of stuff. And then when I became a teenager with a little freedom, he would trust me, and I would drop him off at Scott Air Force Base in Illinois and take the 11-mile drive into St. Louis. And me and my buddies would go to like the Science Center and downtown. And
then you'd hang out at the Riverboat McDonald's.
Oh, yeah. Back in the day when the McDonald's was there. And they used to have a Happy Meal back in the day. Obviously, I didn't need to eat it, but that was actually a riverboat. And it was kind of cool because you could take the top off.
Like a little light plastic box type thing. Yeah.
We'd go up in the arch. And so a lot of history. And so that's why, like, when you gave a few episodes back, like the French Connection, I'm like, oh man, 2 rivers, French, I'm in. But I was obviously wrong. Wah, wah, wah.
Well, for the people that don't know, it hasn't been there for several years, but back in the day, McDonald's had a riverboat. It was a literally riverboat, not like, we're in a riverboat casino and we've just suspended the building over the river. This was actually a riverboat on the river, McDonald's, and it was a big old McDonald's on this riverboat, and it's set just, if I remember correctly, like adjacent to like where the arch was. Yeah.
You could actually just like walk down to the river and then right along there was like a ramp dock, if you will, and then you could go on, and then you sat on the riverboat, whatever, upstairs, downstairs, and then but yeah, it was a real live operating McDonald's. So
what I would have done is I would have just floated it up and down the river. We're stopping in St. Louis for 2 weeks.
Now you just made a mention of something. This is going to show my age, but you just said that Riverboat Casino, how they just put it up and say it's a riverboat. Now I know when we go to Riggers by you, that's how your quote unquote riverboat is there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But when I was young in Metropolis, Illinois, the boat actually would go out for a little bit and come back. And then people started complaining because they're like, well, if I lose my money in 5 minutes, I'm stuck on this big boat ride. And then they had weather issues and stuff. And then they had a riverboat cruise where it would be like the cruise leaves at 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, but really it never went anywhere. And so,
so you were just on the boat.
Yeah. But
I used to,
it was, it was kind of neat. And here's a little bit of history that you don't know about me. So my uncle bought, didn't. He worked with the Historical Society, and they had a caboose, and they turned the caboose into a restaurant called the Hungry Hobo. So someone out there is going to be like, I ate at the Hungry Hobo. It was a caboose that was turned into a Chicago style hot dog stand that was right outside the casino. And my uncle hired me during the summer when I was home from military school. And unfortunately, it was a failing business because he thought for sure people would want to come from the casino and get a hot dog and go back on and gamble. But nope, they just walked right by. They just wanted to go on that boat and gamble. So, but I had a lot of Italian beefs and I had a lot of hot dogs. But that's a little history right there.
That's cool. He failed to understand how the casinos, pretty much lock the doors once you get in there and try to keep you from going out. But
Yeah,
that's cool. The hungry hobo.
Yeah, and then it was pretty neat. And then, of course, they closed up shop, and then I hadn't been there in a while, and then I went back to the area to visit some friends and family, and they said, "You want to go down to the casino?" And I said, "What time does the boat go out?" And they all looked at me like I had 14, like I was wearing a debrim, because they're like, "You can go anytime you want," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then the Riverboat Casino, Casino Queen, I think in St. Louis, or on the other side, it used to go up and down and across from that McDonald's you're talking about, and it doesn't go anywhere either. And then when we came by you live in the Kansas City area. We went to Jay Rieger's distillery, which
is right across from the river.
Very and I close. Said, "Does that one go out?" And you're like, "No, it doesn't move." so anyway,
it just dangles over the water, and we call it a riverboat.
So, anyways, there's a little history that you didn't know about me.
Where in Chicago was this restaurant? Do you remember?
It was in Metropolis, Illinois, which is very south, right across from Paducah, Kentucky.
And I'm
Metropolis
familiar with Paducah.
Is St. Louis, where Superman was supposedly from Metropolis. They had a big Superman statue there, so very southern Illinois.
Because I just looked up, there is a Hungry Hobo restaurant, but it is currently in Rock Island, Illinois.
Well, so there we go. Maybe they moved the caboose. I'm just kidding.
Maybe someone else thought, you know what, we're going to put a restaurant out in front of the casino there in Rock Island.
Yeah, it was.
You never know.
It was kind of sad. Didn't work out because he invested a lot of time, energy, but it's okay. Things work out.
He had a dream. Sometimes those don't work out for us. So
he always would tell me something funny, and then we'll move on with the show. He would always say, he said, "One day I'm going to be rich." And I said, "Oh, yeah?" And he said, and I'll omit some of the language that he would use. He said, "One of my richest relatives is going to leave me something, or I'm going to hit the lottery." And he would say, "I'm blank because I don't have any rich relatives and I don't play the lottery."
Well, he was optimistic, though. I can appreciate that. So
I want to mention something because we are gathering stories for Encounters with Cars. So our friend Matt, not Mark, Matt gave us an idea for... sorry, I had to have a little fun.
Okay.
You can have fun at my debris expense. So gave us an idea for this segment, and we were hoping to gather a few. We do have a couple, but we would like to get a couple more. So if you've had an incident with a car, good, bad, or otherwise, maybe somebody was your savior, like Matt's story. Or maybe somebody was a real piece of,
piece of work.
Yeah. Tell us. We want to hear about it. We're gonna highlight a couple of those on a segment for the show. I would like to tease our next show. Did you want to take this one, or you want me to do it?
Oh, I got this one.
Okay, perfect.
Our next show, we are happy to announce that our next show is going to be Road Adventures with Cycling Men of Leisure's annual cycling Christmas wish list.
I love it. And last time was a huge hit, which turned out that not only did you record the show, but your wife listened and bought you a couple things.
I know, she did.
Wait a minute. Do you have self-interest in this? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, let's, what do I put out there? Yeah. No, last year we did it. It was a lot of fun. Adam came up with some on his own. I came up with some on my own, and we just shared them back and forth. We had all sorts of things from bike computers to collapsible helmets to little bobblehead cyclists, things like that. So it was a lot of fun, and we're going to do it this year. I can't speak for Adam, but already have some great ideas lined up. And basically, it's just to provide possible ideas for anybody out there who wants to shop for their favorite cyclist.
You know what Terry should have gave me? A code for Debrim. That would be a phenomenal Christmas present.
No. I'll show you a good Christmas present. Right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
I don't think you've seen this. Last year I got this. It is the Cycling Men of Leisure bobblehead.
When did you get that?
Yeah. It's got the little Cycling Man of Leisure logo
there.
And it's supposed to look like me.
It does.
On a bike.
If you were a presidential vice president.
And this was one of the ideas that I had last year.
I never saw that.
You never saw this?
Well, no, but then I didn't make my annual Mecca to the Kansas City area.
And it says, Merry Christmas to our number one dad right there on the little thing. But yeah, how cool is that?
Well, what if it would given it to me? I'm just kidding.
Well,
I'm just kidding. That's
would have
cool.
just marked out the dad part and just said the number one.
That's pretty cool.
You like that?
Yeah, that's cool. And that's exactly how you wear your glasses when we go into a town. So I think, did they take a picture of you and send it in?
My wife had a picture of me and sent it in. And like I said, the logo is actually...
I see it. Cycling
the
Man
logo.
of Leisure. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is how I wear my glasses. I mean, most of the time when I get on the road going, my glasses are still there. I have to stop and take them off. But
or I order for you at a restaurant because you've left them...
yeah, I can't see.
This is
they could have, moved the hairline up a little bit, but it's kind of cool.
Oh, they just give you honorable mention.
So
that's awesome. I'll let you set that down carefully. Don't drop that. So that goes
was
perfectly.
One of the many things that we reviewed last year, or didn't review, but we suggested. So yeah.
And you talked about the Psi Plus pump, and we end up using that, which was an A++. Your foldable helmet that you got on the Christmas list was a huge hit, and every time you would take that off and you'd fold it, you weren't even like trying to be like, "Here, I'm going to fold this so people see it."
No,
you were just going to just put it up, and then people would just stop you like in mid sentence, like, "Did you just fold that up?"
Is it foldable? How does that work? And I showed it to dozens of people. The foldable helmet by Fenn, but I throughout the year have been.
Whoa. Did they give us a? What? I mean, you jumped on me for mentioning the brand. You mentioned the family name, the company name. Just kidding.
Yeah, but I'm not wearing their thing and promoting their phone number and all that kind.
Dabrim.com. DABRIM.com.
Yeah. So
I'm just kidding.
This last year, as I've came across things, I've been making a list, and so next episode we'll be going through that list to see what we've got. Adam doesn't know what I have on my list. I don't know what's on Adam's. That kind of keeps it. We like to do that because then it's like, it just keeps it more exciting because we don't know what each other's going to pull out of the bag there and suggest. So we'll see. Just
like listener spotlight. If anyone's ever curious if Michael really does give me the answers, I've actually, A, I don't think he would, but B, I've actually many times said, "Don't tell me." And when we're doing show prep, I will read the guess to him, whoever is sent in the guess. I'm like, "Don't answer this," just in case, because a lot of times he's helping his daughter with homework or something. I usually say, "Don't tell me," but this was the guess. And only one time, and all the times we're doing that, all you said was, "Yeah, that's not even close." I'm like, I don't want to hear that. I want to experience it with you. So, anyways, that will be our next show. The Cyclist Christmas Wish List. So that's so if you want to hypothetically, after that show comes out and there's something on there you want, just drop the link to the show to your wife or significant other or family member. Say, "You might want to listen to this," which was a win-win for everybody. We get someone to listen to the show. You get a new Christmas item. So,
or
yes,
if there's nothing on either of our lists that you're even remotely interested in,
yes,
drop the link to your significant other, whatever, friend, family member, and say, "Listen to this, and don't buy me any of that because I don't want it." It's a win for us.
For the non-denominational. Just kidding. All right. Well, believe it or not, we've gone on a little bit, had some fun, which I always have a good time doing this. I actually have some informational information, and if you'll be willing to hear it, I've got some stuff to tell you.
Absolutely. What do you got?
So I had to put the bike away. In Michigan, we've been, this is what we do every year. We winterize things. I put the hoses away now. It's been in the 30s most nights, although we're going to have 2 days of 70s this week, and then it looks like it's going to get cooler again and be normal. So while putting the bike away, got me thinking. And first of all, as a friend, I'd like to tease you. Do you plan on using the Peloton this year or still hang sweaters from it?
I can do both.
Well, I was going to say, because mine is right now currently holding hangers.
If I put the hangers on it and I ride faster, won't they dry quicker?
It could. Does the Peloton have a fan system? Like, remember the old days? You pull back and forth.
You do that
crank.
and it spins around.
Yeah, right. No, I am horrible. I have to admit to you something. I bought the iFit bicycle. I think it's the S22i is what I have. And it's got a 21-inch monitor, 22-inch monitor, and you can ride through the Himalayas. And I always start out great, like, oh yes, I'm going to do this. I even bought the HDMI cable to connect it to a TV.
Oh yeah, gotta do that.
But you know what? After like 10 to 15 minutes, I'm like, I'm bored. This sucks. And
yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I wish I didn't, but I do.
Now, obviously, I mean, on a self-loathing health journey, I'm going to continue that. I'll do something. It's just hard for me to sit on that bike and not go anywhere. And they go to some of the most beautiful. I'm not sure. To be honest, I've never been on a Peloton ever. I've seen them.
We've got the same thing. You can do the timed rides with the instructor. You can do just the beautiful rides. I'm the same way. After about 15 minutes, I'm like, this is boring. Even if I'm like, I'm going through Aruba, it's like great as long as I'm looking there. But as soon as I look up, I'm still in my basement. Yeah. It's like, well, this is no fun. And then but one thing that's helped, I still have a hard time because I get bored after 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
But they do now have it hooked into where you can go into Disney or Hulu and watch movies while you ride.
Okay. And to be
fair, I really
fair,
don't like, I'll do a few of them when I'm, doing it on a weekly basis. Like once a week, I'll do the one with the instructor. Hey, let's go. Oh,
right.
Get it up to whatever and all this. But that just really annoys me after a while.
No, you've been to my house and one wall behind me is where my gym is at. It's a smaller gym, but you know what? It's just my wife and I. It works. We got a treadmill, we got a bike, a rower in there, and there's a big TV on the wall. Mm-hmm. And so I have an Apple TV box, and so same thing for me. If I don't want to watch the whatever Hawaii or whatever country we're riding the bike in, then I can turn on the Apple TV, and it does get a little bit better. But that got me thinking. I decided to go down, and I was going to do some research. And I have some interesting things to share with you. So,
okay,
I went looking, and it said I asked the computer, which is connected to ChatGPT, and I wanted to know the average time that someone should train on a stationary bike to honestly get the best bang for your buck. Like, is there a point of excessiveness that is not really helping you? Is there a point of what you should be doing? Like, should you be riding it consistently or high intensity or moving back and forth? Like, they say walkers should go like, fast and slow or like, run a little bit.
Shake
and
it up
stop.
a little bit.
Yeah. So the quick answer is it says for most people, the best amount of time to train on a stationary bike is around 30 minutes per session.
Okay.
Aiming for about 5 days a week, with the intensity and duration adjusting based on your fitness level. Beginners can start with a session of 10 to 20 minutes. Obviously, that means I'm a beginner. And gradually increasing the durations as they get fitter. Some key points, it said. Beginners could start with 10 to 20 minutes, obviously. But intermediate said you should aim for 30 to 45 minutes. But it does clearly say that you should have a mix of moderate and high intensity intervals, which is kind of funny because if I follow that iFit program, usually it's not that. They're going to ride across, they're going to ride around an island or something. And there might be a hill, and sometimes it does adjust I'm sure your Peloton does the same thing, but it adjusts the resistance. And so then it comes off, but it's not what I would consider high intensity. And then there's those who are advanced. It says can extend sessions to an hour or even more, incorporating high intensity intervals and varied resistance levels. Now, I have to tell you that the person who does a century on a stationary bike,
oh my God.
Yeah, you got to get a new hobby. And I'm just kidding. But I wanted to do a little homework for our leisure community. There are many software options for stationary bike riding, including virtual riding platforms, training analysis apps, and apps for planning rides. Now, to be clear, the pieces of software that I'm about to mention is, if you'll please role play with me, this is a device, like if you're going to take your bike and you're going to put it into a trainer. Not you and I are first talking about the iFit and the Peloton, and I'm sure there's some other brands. I just don't know.
Bicycles and the computer system all in one unit.
So these pieces of software that I'm going to mention is if you take your bike and put it into a trainer, which you can find many different versions, from very basic to rollers to whatever. And so Zwift is an animated kind of piece of software. It's a popular training app. They actually offer a 14-day free trial. And then after the 14-day trial, there's a monthly fee, or you can do an annual fee.
And that's the one that's that's competitive, where you're competing. Yeah. Or it has an option of being like a competitive type thing. Yeah.
And it's kind of neat because as you pedal, like you could be in your house, I could be in my house. We could actually link up and do it at the same time. I mean, both of our bikes wouldn't go anywhere. I'm just kidding. But on a serious note, yeah, if you want to do group rides, I mean, some of the shops do group rides. Some of the, we could actually have a Cycling Women of Leisure group ride on there.
That would be cool.
So, and I have had Zwift before. That has a companion app that you can put on your phone, and then of course I have projected it on a big 55-inch TV in that room or whatever. So, which is nothing. I saw at Costco they had like 100-inch TVs for what I paid for my 55-inch a long time ago. So, they have one called Trainer Road, which is an app that's good for structured workouts and training. One that was interested in me called, I'm not sure if it's Kino or Kino. I'm going to spell it Kino map. It says an app that can provide a workout while also keeping you entertained, which I thought, hey, maybe that might be something I need.
There you
go. Rovi, which I have used. It is probably the competitor like Zwift. Cycle Go, an app that offers indoor cycling and treadmill classes to help you improve your cardio fitness. Bike Map, which is an app for iPhone and Android users that offer route planning, navigation, and real-time updates. And then if you are an Apple user and you pay for their Apple Fitness, they do have where you can actually ride along there on your Apple TV if that's something you're interested in. Although I really believe the one I mentioned would be Zwift, would probably be the most bang for your buck for someone who's never tried it. Especially with that free 14-day trial. Not on us. That's just what they do. And you can try it out and see. That gives you a chance to connect your sensors, because you can even put like your speed sensor and cadence sensor, and all that connects usually via Bluetooth to your device. And then your phone will pick up on that in the companion app. So if you're looking to do something like that, I would try Zwift.com. Hey, Michael, I need a coffee.
Okay, we'll be back right after this message.
Well, one thing that's interesting that you said 30 minutes, because I had done some research for another segment that we hadn't got around to doing yet, but it directly links into that, and that's why I was rummaging around here. If you were watching, I all of a sudden disappeared off the screen and then showed back up. I had to grab my book here, but there was a study that was done.
I figured you were just ordering a Debrim, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, order the Debrim real quick. A study by I believe it's called the Lancet Family of Medical Journals. This journal has been around since the 1820s, and this is in Australia. And this was an Australian study that was done with 700 adults. And these are adults that had back pain, whether it be normal back pain or back pain from like cycling. Because I know a lot of times when you're hunched down on that bicycle, you wind up to get a lot of lower back pain and that kind of thing. But what it found is that walking 3 times a week for 30 minutes significantly improves spinal health and reduces the amount of pain that occurs. So if you're a cyclist and you do after, I know I do after long days in the saddle, my lower back starts hurting and that kind of thing, maybe do 30 minutes of walking or exercise that might also improve like the back pain and that type of thing. So.
It's interesting you say that because, I've tried running a little bit and I just realized that I'm just not a runner. Every time I run, my lower back just kills me. Now I can run on the treadmill because it's got 4 shocks or springs or whatever. And so it's forgiving. If I try to run outside, the next couple of days I pay for it. And the way I can get the pain to go away without even talking to you is I go for walks. And so when I go for my walks, definitely seems to be very, very healthy. So not only because it's doctor recommended, but I can tell you personally, it definitely helps. So I have given up running outside. I just run on the treadmill now. So,
but it's important in the wintertime. If you live in states like Michigan and Kansas and all those northern states where we get some pretty cruddy weather, you don't just have to spend the time on the bicycle. I know you do a lot of hiking in the wintertime to help stay fit, walking, running, all that kind of stuff. Is going to be beneficial and certainly could benefit your directly impact and benefit your cycling.
Yeah, you're right. I do. I love my winter hiking. I get my crampons on and I got my Keens and I go out and I love when it snows and ice. I bundle up on I'm not paid by Under Armour to say this, but I bundle up on all my Under Armour cold gear and usually get a Starbucks coffee and head out there and I love it. I love being out there and hiking. And I live in an area where we're very lucky. There's all kinds of state trails and a very safe area to go. So
I've gotten many pictures of you out in the woods and it's like snowing or it's got a lot of snow on the ground and you're out there walking and you got your Starbucks in your hands. So,
they should be paying me too, by the way. So,
well,
I just saw an article that the new CEO, so for those of you who don't know, the old Chipotle CEO took over Starbucks, and so he's trying to get it back to being a coffee store again, so getting rid of the tchotchkes in there and stop for the upcharging of different milks. And I still don't know how you get milk from an almond. I guess you just got to squeeze it, but they're going to stop charging.
Oh, don't bring that up in dairy country, let me tell you, because that is not milk.
Oh, I'm sure. I love almond. I go to the store, almond milk. Like, I never milked an almond, but anyway. So, anyways, that's an interesting piece. So yeah, I just wanted to give you my little history of what they recommend. So those of you who are interested in staying fit, because I'm sure like people who live in Georgia, Florida, they can probably ride all year long, or they can ride most months. And you can ride here too if you got a fat bike and you're willing to go out. I'm just not. You want to
put on 3 layers and brave the cold and the ice and no. It's not for me.
I'm not that guy. A couple times I've tried it. I got a mountain bike. I'd go out and then I'd be halfway into a ride going, what am I doing? Now, the difference for me when I'm hiking, I just don't have that wind in my face so much. So just not my deal, but I'm happy for people who want to do it. So
absolutely.
So anyways, that's about it. The only thing we have left, unless you have something, I want to give you the floor before I give you the...
I'm good.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for Listener Spotlight.
All right. I think I got a good one this episode. Let's start off with, this community was originally named... its original name was Swiss in origin. Let's put it that way. Community's original name was Swiss in origin. The town was laid out in the mid 1800s.
Okay.
If you are a squirrel or a bird, this is a town you want to be in.
Hey, Rocky. I'm just kidding.
This community is one of the oldest incorporated communities within the state that it resides in.
Okay.
I said that the name was Swiss, and the original name was Swiss in origin. The original initial population was primarily Swiss immigrants.
Okay.
The first big major industry of this community was gold, or revolved around gold. And this community can lay claim to playing a major role in early communications across this country. So it played a major role in the early communications across the United States.
Okay, now, I'm sorry. You said country at first, and then you said United States.
I said across this country.
So, okay.
And then I said the United States. So clearly, we're talking about something in the U.S.
Well,
I thought that was pretty easy. No, actually. I think this is a harder one than last week's. But
Morse code.
Nobody got that one.
I'm thinking like Morse code. Shouldn't say my outside thoughts, but I'm thinking like Morse code. I'm thinking gold, silver, and gold.
Okay. Okay, Burl Ives.
Well, all right.
I'm going to help you out. It's not St. Louis.
I figured that.
Okay.
But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, go to debrim.com.
Oh my gosh. It'll
This
never
listener
end.
Spotlight has been brought to you by debrim.com. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, listen, we've got guests out there. We've got some information for you. You know that our Christmas wish list is coming up on our next episode. A lot of new stuff on our website.
And the one final thing I wanted to bring up, because I just thought of it. Registration for Big Brag.
Yes. You want to do that. Come on up. Go to brag.org, and you can click on Big Brag 2025. And then join us. Go to when you pull down and you register there, you can join a team. If you don't know, you can get a free jersey paid for by the Bragg Corporation for joining us. In the past, we've been able to do two teams, men and women. You could either be men of leisure or women of leisure.
Hopefully, we'll still be able to do that.
I hope so too.
But the other big thing is, why is it important you do it sooner than later?
So you can take advantage of the price break before signing up.
January 1st, I think, is the...
Yeah. What you want to make sure is at midnight, New Year's Eve, they'll do a route release party. So if you're wondering where they're going, or I don't know about a party, but usually it's a video. We'll have a show that comes out on the 1st, and definitely want to catch that price break. So, I actually have to sign up. I think I'm going to do that this week. I got to sign up too. So we are definitely going 100%. Put it on your calendar.
Committed.
We'll look forward to that. We got some cool stuff that we're planning for.
Yes, we do. So, we talked about some neat things that we're looking at doing team type events during the week. So it could be a lot of fun. Well, it'll be a lot of fun. It could just be like a lot of fun. So,
other than the speakeasy, because that's almost a guaranteed if we can find a place. But this is actually something
we'll be doing the speakeasy.
Yeah,
and I'm sure I'm
doing the speakeasy right now.
Well, as am I. So yeah, we'll definitely do the speakeasy. Last year it went really well. Had a lot of people. But we've got some other ideas too that I think people will find fun. So,
what are you sipping on tonight? Can I ask?
You can. It's actually Buffalo Trace.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I kind of go through my bottles and it was open. So I thought, okay, I'll have a little.
Your collection?
No, it's my bar.
Oh.
It's just a well-stocked whiskey bar is what mine is. Yours is a collection. Mine is a well-stocked whiskey bar. Now,
tonight I am enjoying some Uncle Nearest. And definitely have many, many bottles that are open. The collection is for the show behind us here, and for my own personal enjoyment. But the bar is down below, and there's probably just as many down there that are open. So, but I figured that I would just share that I'm enjoying some Uncle Nearest. By the way, Uncle Nearest, female owner, CEO.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
There's getting a lot more female distillers, female CEOs, things like that in the bourbon and whiskey business. So I think that's kind of cool. But that's actually one that I have not tried. So I might have to stop by the local liquor store and see if I can't pick up a bottle of that. I've seen it out there, heard a lot about it, just never tried it. So
yeah, definitely. It's about, I think, somewhere between. You get cheaper prices than I do, but $40 to $50 price point, somewhere in there. Although
average.
Probably at your, actually, you said Total Wine took over Luca's, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think your Total Wine is going to be cheaper than my Total Wine. Your taxes are a lot less over there.
Well, we don't have as good a roads. Just joking.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a great day for a bike ride.
It has indeed. Have a good one. Enjoy.
Thank you for coming along with Adam and Michael on Road Adventures with Cycling Men of Leisure. If you have enjoyed this, please subscribe to the show on the podcast app of your choice.
Hey, we just wanted to remind you that we've got some really cool products at our jersey and our swag store.
That's right. You can visit cyclingmenofleisure.com. At the top of the page, you'll find our stores page. Click there. There's 2 QR codes. The one on the left has a J on it. That's the store for the jerseys. The one on the right is just a swag store. Has all kinds of different items. Kind of customizable. You can kind of make the swag the way you want it. If the QR codes are giving you an issue, don't worry. Underneath, there's 2 buttons that you can click on. Thank you, and have a great day.